What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and it is player grades time, as we're going to grade out some Philadelphia Eagles here from their 37-9 victory over the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas's home field. Oh, it felt great. First half was absolutely horrific. Doug Peterson had one of the worst coached halves I may have seen since like the Chip Kelly era. But then, full credit to Doug. I was super critical of him from the first half on Twitter, and rightfully so. But full credit, I left my big rant tweet that I made saying Doug has to adjust, and he did exactly that. So, as much as he needs to be held responsible for this team coming out incredibly flat and playing horrific in the first half, you also need to give him due credit for how he was able to, adjust his game plan at halftime. And we did it without a kicker. Dallas, you have injuries, all right? You're missing Tyler Smith. We're missing Jason Peters. Equal losses, all right? You're missing, obviously Zeke's a bigger loss than losing Darren Sproles. We're already talking about that. You're missing Sean Lee. We're missing Jordan Hicks. We're pretty much level in terms of injuries, but the Eagles are able to overcome. And then during the game, we didn't have a kicker for the second half. Our linebacker was doing our kicking duties. We had to go for it on every fourth down. We had to go for 2-point conversions. And based off of how the first half went, a field goal, it was looking like that could be the game decider. But still, we're able to overcome, adapt, and 37-9. It wasn't as good as the 44-6 or 44-9 or whatever, 44-3, whatever it was in 2013. But this was a very, very dominant performance. As once again, Carson Wentz proves why he's the front runner for that MVP with that bounce back second half. So throwing out some grades. Carson Wentz, 14-27, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 13 yards rushing. I'm pretty sure of his 6 attempts rushing, like 2 of those were on third downs. The passes, both his touchdown passes were very, very good. Wentz gets A. His first half was bad, but I kind of put that to the receivers, not so much on Carson Wentz. Our wide receivers look like they were last year. Look like they lost their hands on the bye week. I don't know what happened there, but I'm putting it to the play calling. It was Andy Reid play calling. You're seeing in the first half, I believe it when you say Doug Peterson is a part of that Andy Reid coaching tree, because very much like Andy Reid, back when Donovan McNabb would have to throw it 50 times, even though it wasn't working, he forces the pass. It's like, how coaches have the game script for usually the first 2 or 3 drives? It was kind of like Doug Peterson had the whole first half scripted, and when the pass wasn't working, he just couldn't, kind of credit to the Dallas Cowboys. Dak was throwing picks. Dak was not looking good. There wasn't having any time. They started to run the ball. They started to slow the game down, but Doug was not adjusting. And this stat line that Carson Wentz is even more impressive, knowing that probably 5-6 of those were drops. He probably would have been well over 200+ yards on the day. Luckily, no drop touchdowns or anything like that. But I mean, he got 2 touchdowns, and he had 3 2-point conversions. So he had, in terms of scoring, he had like 3 full touchdowns worth of points. Great day from Carson Wentz, especially in the second half to bounce back. So I'm giving Carson Wentz, I'll give him an A-. We'll give him an A-. As far as the running backs, I mean, I'm a little frustrated that we're not giving Jai, like, LeGarrette Blount had 13 carries to Jai 7. I think that should be flipped. I think LeGarrette Blount's the kind of guy you bring in when you're up, 39, whatever the hell, when you're up 37-9, that's when you bring LeGarrette Blount in to kill the game off. But I still feel like Jai is a more explosive runner. But Jai 7 carries, 91 yards. LeGarrette Blount, 13 carries, 57 yards. Corey Clement has been an ultimate utility player for us. 6 carries, 50 yards, and a touchdown. Kenyon Barner had an insane catch and another rushing touchdown. So we have four-headed running back monster. And even Wendell Smallwood, who's inactive, he could come in and contribute. If he was getting a normal amount of carries, like a normal workload, Smallwood's the kind of guy that can still give you 35, 40 yards on less than 10 carries. So we realistically have 5 running backs that are capable of, in some pairing. I don't think outside of Ajay, there's really one running back that could be just the guy. But all of our running backs in a pairing combination, which is pretty much like the mold around the league, is have 2 backs. We have all those guys could be a serviceable backfield. So, again, the worst thing to talk about the Eagles' depth is to start getting into injuries, because then you feel like you're going to jinx it or stuff like that. But Philly has depth, and depth is good, especially at the running back spot. So overall, running game, A+. We ignore the running game in the first half, which was incredibly frustrating. But in the second half, I don't know what we finished with, like over 200 yards rushing on the day. Running backs, A+. Same goes for the offensive line play. As far as our receivers, Alshon, 4 catches, 67 yards, a touchdown. I think he had a 2-point conversion as well. Pay Alshon. We paid Timmy Jernigan. I would really like to negotiate a contract right now with Alshon Jeffrey. Don't let him hit the open market. I don't know how much cash we have. That's probably why. But I would like to say, with Howie and how golden Howie has been in the front office these last 2 seasons, get that deal done. Torrey Smith had 3 catches, 28 yards, and a touchdown as well. Ertz was non-existent. That was a little disappointing. I know he's coming off an injury, so probably working back, trying to get up to game speed, because after that injury, it was a bye week. Overall, though, the receivers did not have a good game outside of really Alshon Jeffrey. So I'm going to have to give the receivers a C+. Alshon's excluded from that grade because he was exceptional. This is probably his best game as an Eagle. But everyone else did not look good. Everyone else looked like they were still on the bye, and they were not helping out our quarterback, Carson Wentz. Kicking was, like I said, we finished the game without a kicker. Jake Elliott, I don't know what's going to happen. I assume it's a concussion. If he's not ready for 1 week, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, that we can recall Caleb Sturgis off of IR. We have a kicking controversy. I think, even though I respect Jake Elliott, and I certainly believe he is, even though he hasn't looked so hot the last couple weeks, he should have another opportunity to try to get the starting kicking job. Sturgis was good. Sturgis was fringe top 10. Top 10 when you start ranking kickers. I mean, there's Justin Tucker, and that's pretty much everyone else. But I mean, Sturgis is a good kicker. We'll put it that way. We have 2 good kickers, so maybe there's a slight kicking controversy to have with the Philadelphia Eagles. And on defense, oh, Darby is back. Darby, the one knack against Darby. Everyone knew he had good coverage ability. He had elite speed. Was tackling. He tackled the living hell out of Dez Bryant. How many open field tackles did he have on Dez Bryant? That was I'm giving the game ball right now to Ronald Darby. Come on. Defensive game ball. Offensive game ball goes to Alshon Jeffrey. Defensive game ball goes to Ronald Darby. Those open field tackles on a much bigger wide receiver than Dez Bryant were beautiful. He had an interception. We have 7 tackles for Jalen Mills. Nigel Bradham recovered a fumble for a touchdown. Malcolm Jenkins had an interception. We got 2 sacks from Derek Barnett. What did Taco Charlton do in that game? We have 1 sack from Brandon Graham. We have an interception from Rodney McLeod, a sack from Timmy Jernigan. Defense gets an A+. Run defense was a little, but we got to remind yourselves, Alfred Morris is no slouch. And, you know, outside of Tyron Smith, they still have the core group of that very famed Dallas Cowboys offensive line. So, obviously, you got to lose the pass pro from Tyron Smith, but they have their primary run blockers in there. So, a couple slip-ups here and there. I remember on Alfred Morris's first big run, I can't believe they missed a holding call. It was so bad on Fletcher Cox. He was in the backfield, and the guy, oh, it was so bad. I'm not even gonna, can't even complain about it after this game. But defense, A+. Excellent game. Dak Prescott did not look good at all. He did not do one thing right in that game. And like the way that I was kind of going in this game is like how things have changed. Dak Prescott right now is kind of finding himself in the situation Carson Wentz was in last year, and it seems like Carson Wentz now is finding himself in the... Is he though? Like, it's one of those things. Okay, Dak Prescott very much is in Carson Wentz's shoes from last season, where players are hurt, key players are hurt, and his playmakers aren't making plays. Even though we still have to admit that Dak Prescott on this Cowboys team has more weapons than Carson Wentz had as a rookie on the Eagles. But I would say, like, you can't even say the inverse. Like, is Carson Wentz what Dak Prescott was last year? Not really, because they're different play styles. Philly isn't really relying on the run. Philly is still a pass-first team. We are still winning games on the arm of Carson Wentz, whereas last year it was Zeke running the ball, and then Dak was able to complement that with good play. But I digress. Dak Prescott did not look good. Carson Wentz, as of right now, is the better quarterback. There's no denying it. But that being said, it's not like I'm coming out and saying Dak sucks. I know there's a lot of Eagle fans that when they do the debate of Wentz versus Dak, they say Wentz is good, Dak's overrated, Dak sucks. Dak is still a really good quarterback. I'm not going to start getting the ranks and stuff like that, but Dak is a good quarterback. Wentz is better. It's plain as day right now. And the only way you deny it is you're a Cowboy homer. Let's be completely honest. So, that being said, fellas, overall MVP for this game, like I said, I'm giving offensive MVP game ball, Alshon Jeffrey. Defensive goes to Ronald Darby. And if we get Sidney Jones back, that secondary, which is the only weakness on the defense, is going to look absolutely terrifying. So, I am very, very excited for what to come. We have Chicago this week. No game's an easy win, but let's be honest, we should be expecting to be 10-1 come this time next week. But that is for another video. So thank you guys for watching. Like if you liked the video. Like if you're hyped for the win. Subscribe if you're new. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.